It's WGTS 91.9 with Jerry and Summer. We are so pleased to have a couple very special guests along with us. Luke Dimion, who's Judas, George Xanthus, who plays John on The Chosen, one of the most popular series. It seems like it's streaming everywhere, guys. It's on Amazon Prime, it's on Peacock, it's on Netflix. I think everyone's heard about The Chosen. But Luke, for you, if I've been interested but never really watched it, why should I watch it? Like, I haven't been in there yet. What's the reason for me to watch The Chosen?
Oh, it's just good TV. It's extremely well written in a dramatic form that keeps you engaged with incredibly caring characters and cool set pieces. It's literally, if there's a pastime that you've always been interested in, that era of the Roman occupation of the Hebrew people, and specifically the rise and the spread of Jesus Christ's teachings, this is the show to watch. Even if you're not interested in that specifically, it's again just it's a good show. It's got amazing heartfelt moments and incredible things that I think everybody could find. Especially the first season really knocks it out of the park, and then at that point you're hooked.
Yeah. Luke, you played Judas specifically, and so far we've seen I haven't seen season 4 yet, but we've seen a pretty kind and compassionate Judas. You knew the story historically. What appealed to you about this role? Did you audition specifically to be Judas?
I didn't audition specifically for Judas, but I was pretty happy when it came along, and it while I was auditioning for the show, they threw it on the plate, and I was like, oh sure, yes please, and I auditioned for that, and when they offered it, I was pretty happy. I was pretty giddy. So I kind of just appreciate the complications that come with them, because everything's already kind of set. As an actor, challenges are the most fun to deal with, because if everyone's already got a conception of a character, what can you do to play with those ideas, and to either throw them for a loop or to play into it sometimes. It's just fun to see how you can delay or just I don't know, just play with those expectations.
And you're doing well, because I don't want to like your character because I know what you do, but I do like your character.
Can I say, by the way, season 4, Luke is just steps it up a notch. He's excellent. And I think that this is going to be the greatest depiction of Judas of all time, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not biased, but but it's because you just said it before. I like Judas. Like, I don't know who has been able to do that. What actor in the past has been able to say that? And that's also a testament not only to Luke's ability, but the show. It gives you an idea of why the show is so good. You ask, why should people watch it? It's because we take the time to grow characters, and you can start to understand Judas's motives, and that's purely down to this great individual right here. He's very good.
Thank you so much, George. The funds will be deposited into your account later.
So Luke, I am really interested though to hear what you discovered about Judas on this way. Like, ever since the show launched and we started meeting the disciples, I'm like, oh, eventually we're going to get to Judas. And there's so much so many preconceived notions we have about who this character is based on what the Bible says this character did. Has anything really kind of surprised you as you've dove and developed this character?
If there's anything that's really surprised me, is the take that the show has on him, because I think even myself, along with everybody else, have their preconceived notions of him. But I'm really enjoying this characterization of him, which is he's a kid.
Yeah.
Honestly, he feels like this high school kid who saw like a cappella group that he really wanted to join, and he's like, oh, this is going to be my identity, I can't wait, excuse me, all that jazz. Like, he really wants to be a part of this, and he really wants his identity to be this, and he wants to feel that security and importance in his life to be a part of this. And you see that naivete, just this kid who wants it all but doesn't know how to go about it. So I think that's something that really surprised me, and I'm having fun with.
We can tell. So George, same question. John is known as the disciple that Jesus loved. as you played this part, how has it changed your perception of maybe who you thought John was before you played the part?
Well, it's kind of embarrassing. I thought I was playing John the Baptist. I completely forgot there was a John. It's only when someone said Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I'm like, oh yeah. I was actually kind of relieved when I found out it was John the Apostle, because I was like, John the Baptist, from what I know and remember, I don't know if he's going to last very long. However, on the complete opposite spectrum, John the Apostle, if I'm not mistaken, is the last disciple.
The longest, yeah.
Kind of, he's the longest. And I also saw he gets exiled to Greece. So, hey, there's a spin-off and we want to send George to Greece. I mean, let's go.
I love that.
But it's honestly like, I've actually learned a lot. I've never read, John's gospel before. And as part of the research, I'm very lucky as it's probably one of the few disciples apart from Paris with Matthew that can sit there and read through and kind of get an idea about this person. And he's not only called the disciple that Jesus loved, he's also called the disciple of love, because I think he mentions it the most of any New Testament book. So what's fun about this character is, what's the first name we hear? It's Son of Thunder. So how do we get a son of thunder, this impetuous, young man who wants to rain fire from the heavens with his big brother? How does that person become this loving disciple? And that's such a, it's been so fun. I honestly think, I mean, I'm biased. John feels like one of the most fun characters to play.
Now, George, I mean, talking about how things have developed from one to the other, you've been with this show pretty much since the beginning. So now we are into season 4. How have you watched the trajectory of the show change since its inception? And how has it surprised you, whether it's the reception or how the show has morphed?
It's kind of, I read the first script, I remember, and I knew it was going to be great, but it's just kind of like, at the time it was pitched as like a web series. So you're just kind of like, this is so good and it has such great potential. And I believed in it, but nothing can prepare you for, walking out in Leicester Square in the United Kingdom for a premiere of your series on cinema screens. It is absolute night and day. I mean, we basically started with how we're going to distribute this to now basically being groundbreaking and like, a trailblazer in new ways to digest television. I mean, we're making box office inroads. Like we're beating some films out there. It's been, honestly, the word is surreal, I would describe it.
Wow. It's been in the top 5, top 6 in the movie theaters in the United States. So that's been incredible. Luke, as Judas, I know you guys have a lot of fan interaction. What do fans of the show say to you? Do they like you as a person? Do they like, we know what you're going to do?
Oh, I've dodged many a rotten vegetable in my time. I've gotten really good at ducking, bobbing, and weaving. Been watching the Rocky movies, just like, oh, maybe bottles. But no. Funny enough, it's the exact opposite. All of my fan interactions have, even to my surprise, been just overwhelmingly exciting and fun and kind. Like I was very much expecting.
What's interesting, very quickly, this sums up, because usually your fan base is probably like a reflection of who you are. There is a Judas mint plant fan page. In one episode, Judas had a mint plant and somebody made a fan page dedicated to not just Luke, but this mint plant. It is hilarious. And it's a great reflection of Luke's sense of humor, because it's just hilarious. Yeah. So it's just a picture of a plant on Instagram. It's hilarious.
Which was also great, because I'm Egyptian. And so mint is a very much appreciated little leaf that we enjoy putting in our teas a lot. And so when there was an entire mint plant fan page, me and my family went wild. We were like, we're a fan of the mint.
All right.
So the reality is there has been so much impact from this movie on so many people. Like my husband, not a very emotional dude. We were catching up on season 3 the other day. I turn around and he is just weeping, and he was surprised. He's like, what is this? Like, what are some of the most powerful interactions that you've had with fans who maybe have shared with you what this show has meant to them?
I think Luke and I can probably share one fan interaction. I think this is the power of the show, and I will do my best to top and tail and summarize this. But basically, we were all told as a cast that there was a fan of the show who was struggling and ill with cancer, and so we all decided to visit him in hospital.
Oh, wow.
And it was such a great, kind of a great moment from all the cast to this young boy, Jared. Then Luke and I and a few others decided, actually, we had a lot of fun. And so we decided to go every week when we were shooting in Utah. It was a really cool bonding time for me and Luke as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we went every single week that we were filming in Utah.
We didn't. I don't even think we realized that it was every single week until after we came out. I was like, oh, we did go, but
Well,
because
that's
it
the
was
thing.
just such a fulfilling experience.
We would go Saturday and then Sunday, and then once we had a Monday off, so we would go Monday, and the traffic was less harsh during the Monday visits. But yeah, and we kind of, it's a little bit of a sad story because sadly he didn't he lost his battle with cancer, but he told us as a joke that he goes like we've like he's like eating like some gummy worms, and we're asking him what would you like of anything in the world, and he kind of just joked. He was a bit of a joker. He's like, oh yeah, $50,000, and he just kind of like laughed. And so me and Luke, we often joked with him, but we thought, you know what, we're going to take that seriously. And we put it to the Chosen fans. We wanted to raise money in memory and in support of Jared and his family.
Wow.
And you know what? Chosen fans came out in their droves and they raised $50,000 for this young boy. And
I didn't
it just
think
gives
we
you
were
an
gonna
idea.
get there, but yeah, that's the power of the fandom
Coming from
and how much they
Spain,
care.
from Puerto Rico, from Brazil, from Australia, from the United Kingdom.
Amazing.
That's the impact of the show. That's the impact it has on people. It brings everybody together, and everybody is like one big happy family. Honestly, we, sometimes we can cry together as well, but we are literally a big family.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, Luke, I'm curious. Now, we haven't seen season 4, so without giving a spoiler, is there a moment that made an impact on you, or a specific episode that made a big impact on you in season 4? Do you think is going to impact us?
Honestly, funny enough, I'm actually gonna have to go back to the to Jared Baker in Utah, because I know it was funny. All going through all the scenes, I was doing my work, I was doing my technique, but the thing that really impacted me was spending that time with Jared. Every time I look back on it and I talk with George, I just remember just him and his amazing personality and his smile, and just being able to spend time with him and realizing if it wasn't for the show, if it wasn't for me doing this right now, I would never be able to have this experience and get to meet this amazing, stellar, one of a kind kid.
Is there, for each of you, is there an episode, like episode 3 of season 4, episode 6 of season 4, that you're like, this one's my favorite? Make sure that you pay extra attention to this one.
Oh, hey, Luke, what episode specifically is, I don't want to, can we reveal too much, but there is a Jewish tradition, let's just say, that I had no idea about. And our show goes, I mean, we have like, not only like theological historians, we have also like rabbis and stuff kind of giving advice to the show. And we have an episode that explores a lot of amazing Jewish traditions. And I think the way that we intertwine that with our narrative, for me personally, also the way this episode starts, it's like a house on fire. It is a combination of learning about what the Jewish people were, how they would kind of approach their faith back 2,000 years ago. But then you also get the drama of what's happening in the show. But me personally, I know you may have enjoyed those scenes as well, Luke.
Oh no, those were extremely fun. Those were just in that long hallway of a tavern. Like that was good. I can't remember which episode that was. I think I want to say
6,
5 or 6.
Just have to watch them all. Got it.
Just watch them all.
It's in cinemas. It's in cinemas right now, so that's definitely the best way to watch it, and then you don't get any spoilers.
Okay, all right, George. Before I let you go, if you could encapsulate season 4 in just a sentence or two for those who haven't watched yet, tell us what you'd say.
For season 4, this is when stuff gets real. I mean, you know, I just remember that jubilation of Jesus and the disciples at the wedding of Cana, and they're all kind of dancing together. And we know that things are going to get sad in the series. Season 4 is when things get sad, unfortunately. But
So this is where we're supposed to start crying?
yeah, this is
well,
where
I'm way ahead of
trust
the
me,
curve.
you need the Kleenexes handy, because that's what I've heard from so many people. This is when stuff starts to get sad and very, very real.
And then the projection just starts to grow from the
Oh,
season,
yeah.
slowly and surely.
All right. Luke and George playing Judas and John from The Chosen. Guys, thanks so much for your time. We
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see the show in season 4. Much success to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.